An interest in the things that you like. And I'm just trying to play it cool. But that's not what I want to do. And I'm not trying to be with you now. But I could be an interest in the things that you like. And I'm just trying to play it cool. But that's not what I want to do. And I'm not trying to be with you now. But I could be an interest in the things that you like. And I'm just trying to play it cool. But that's not what I want to do. But
Bora. Coisa que eu não stream. Bener Bambang.
Selain bersih-bersih pantai dan pantai, akan menggunakan menjadi eksekutif logistik untuk memberikan kegiatan yang satu yaitu segera mewujudkan metode sakti sambutan dari Bapak Rektor satu untuk masing silakan.
Selamat pagi semuanya. Very good morning. Ya, selamat datang kembali Prof. Aida, Dr. Nur Hayati dan Pak Noh, ya, Pak Dr. Noh, dan Bapak Ibu dosen. Terima kasih buat kehadirannya. Jadi seperti visi ITL Trisakti belum berubah, ya. Visinya, our vision, our institute vision is to become a world-class institute, world-class university. So we are doing everything to achieve that vision, ya, step by step. Jadi Bapak Ibu, terima kasih buat supportnya. Kita ada 230 lecturers, baik dia dari industri ataupun full-time lecturers. Tapi yang hadir hari ini saya kira combination antara lecturers dan juga ada students, ya, online, kira-kira 60 students. Jadi ini upaya, karena visi kita, visi menuju World Class Institute itu sebenarnya sudah hampir tercapai. Ya, ini sudah hampir tercapai, ya, sudah hampir tercapai. Karena dari 10 indicators yang disyaratkan oleh rankingan global, ya, kita cuma satu weakness-nya menurut observasi saya sampai hari ini adalah publication. Ya, publication itu perlu ada 100 publication tapi terindeks Scopus, itu salah satu mandatory yang saya lihat, 100 publication dalam 3 tahun terakhir. Ya, jadi constraint-nya itu, olehnya kita undang rekan-rekan kita, partner kita dari Malaysia untuk berbagi, ya, berbagi pengetahuan. Tetapi pertemuan kali ini tidak hanya cuma sharing tentang ini SLR ataupun international publication, tetapi tadi saya udah bicara sambil minum kopi tadi pagi, kita punya project untuk publish dengan Mia. Tepuk tangan dulu dong. Itu ngobrol-ngobrol, ya, ngobrol-ngobrol, kita lihat nanti hasilnya. Tahun lalu kita bekerja sama dengan Mytek, salah satu kampus di UniKL, salah satu departemennya di Departemen Logistik. Tahun lalu udah kita proses kira-kira 86 artikel. Dan ini sekarang sedang proses review, mudah-mudahan on Desember, ya Pak Iqbal, ya. On Desember ada sekitar 86 artikel, Bapak Ibu juga, ya, artikel mahasiswa dan Bapak Ibu yang Bapak Ibu bimbing akan publish di publikasi internasional Scopus. Jadi kalau 86 sebenarnya udah tercapai lah, ya. Dan tahun ini tambah lagi nanti rencananya 100. Mudah-mudahan visi kita bisa kita capai, ya. Dan ini bisa tercapai bukan karena rektor, bukan karena vice.
Karena rektor. Makanya Bapak Ibu jangan heran kalau Bapak Ibu dalam setiap minggu ada undangan, ya.
Hilang lagi.
Ada undangan pelatihan pengurusan BPA, ada undangan untuk pengurusan publikasi. Setiap minggu ada. Kita serius untuk menuju visi Trisakti. Dan Bapak Ibu lah yang membuat ini terjadi. Kolaborasi, ya. Jadi harapan visi
berapa dosen ya? Jadi kita sendiri Bapak Ibu dosen ya kan? Kita tahu urutan dulu. Jadi Bapak Ibu semoga pertemuan ini bisa apa? Bisa memberi inspirasi ya. Dan juga nanti saya sedikit nih karena belum pernah ini ketemu langsung dengan dosen-dosen ini ya. Saya sedikit cerita ambil waktu 10 menit. Jadi ada beberapa hal yang akan kita coba kejar ya Bapak Ibu dosen di sini, terutama yang sudah lektor nanti, asisten profesor. Nanti akan kita buat program pencangkokan dalam waktu dekat ini. Jadi setiap asisten profesor atau lektor akan akan mengcoaching 5 dosen yang rankingnya lebih rendah. Ya, dalam minggu depan akan keluar nanti surat tugasnya atau SK-nya untuk Bapak Ibu membimbing dosen yang lebih junior. Kemudian dari sisi PKM, publikasi PKM, Bapak Ibu yang tadi juga yang udah jadi asisten profesor ataupun yang udah lektor, akan kita minta tolong nanti untuk membimbing 5 di bawahnya untuk membuat satu paper pengabdian kepada masyarakat. Targetnya ada sekitar 45 paper ini. Mudah-mudahan minggu depan juga udah akan keluar surat tugasnya untuk Bapak Ibu yang asisten profesor sama yang lektor untuk menghasilkan satu publikasi PKM. Ya. Di samping itu ini yang kita lakukan hari ini adalah untuk pemenuhan publikasi penelitian ya. Jadi penelitian dan publikasinya inilah salah satu eventnya dan Groslock besok ya itu eventnya. Jadi kita sangat senang ada Bapak Ibu hadir di sini. Mudah-mudahan ITL bisa meraih visinya. Tadi saya ngobrol-ngobrol dengan UNIKL pada saat minum kopi. UNIKL udah masuk ranking 500 dunia. UNIKL ya. 500 ranking dunia. Tadi saya bilang tepuk tangan dulu deh. Kemudian ya kita berharap kita masuk 600 gitu ya. Tapi harus kolaborasi dengan yang udah punya ranking dulu. Oke? Itu strategi kita. Besok Bapak Ibu lihat Pak Aris. Pak Aris siapa di situ? Punya flyer yang semua pembicara untuk besok nggak? Bisa ditampilkan nggak? Ya, jadi besok yang hadir ada sekitar 8 pembicara dari seluruh 10 ya. 10 dari berbagai partner kita di seluruh dunia. Salah satu partner kita terbaru adalah National University Singapore. Ya, besok hadir, mereka punya ranking itu 11 dunia. Jadi 11 dunia. Kalau di Indonesia UI ITB itu baru ranking UGM baru ranking 260 kalau nggak salah ya. Nah, jadi kita coba berupaya belum ada ya slide-nya, oke nggak apa-apa. Jadi kita terus berupaya berkolaborasi dengan perguruan tinggi manapun untuk bisa kita lebih cepat ininya pencapaian visinya. Contoh ya, saya kasih gambaran mungkin Bapak Ibu dosen yang belum pernah ke UNIKL. Ini yang MIAT kampusnya, kampus MIAT ini. Kita belajar nih di kelas. Kita turun tangga, 2 tangga saja turun. Di situ ada namanya teaching factory ya, Prof ya. Ada helikopter Airbus, ada instruktur dari Airbus di situ. Nah, jadi mereka punya fasilitas memang cukup komplit ya dan sangat mendukung untuk proses belajar mengajar. Nah, kita untuk mendatangkan helikopter kan sulit ya. Betul ya? Nah, jadi daripada kita membangun lab seperti itu mahal, kita kolaborasi. Nah, anak-anak kita juga ada yang ada di sana belajar dalam bentuk kredit transfer, ya bisa ikut di seluruh fasilitas tersebut. Salah satu kampus misalnya yang MIMET, is it right? MIMET? Yang Marine ya, yang Marine. Situ ada pelabuhan Bapak Ibu. Ada pelabuhan, jadi mereka punya fasilitas cukup baik, jadi mahasiswa kita juga bisa menggunakan fasilitas tersebut ya untuk membuat anak-anak kita bisa juga dapat ilmu yang baik. Dan juga open bagi Bapak Ibu dosen yang mau apa istilahnya kalau dosen ngajar di sana? Apa? Iya, lecture misalnya dosen kita tukar ya, exchange ya. Exchange lecturer, open. Ya bagi Bapak Ibu, tapi syaratnya harus niden kita ya. Harus niden kita. Bapak Ibu mau ngajar di salah satu kampus dengan partner kita ini, welcome. Disiapkan nanti tempat tinggalnya di sana ya. tiket, kalau yang punya tiket gratis pakai sendiri ya. Ya, jadi boleh juga kesempatan untuk untuk kita bertukar-tukar ya. Mau ngajar seminggu, mau ngajar sebulan, atau mau ngajar selamanya di sana, boleh nggak ya? Boleh tanpa gaji gitu ya. Oke, jadi itu kira-kira gambarannya Bapak Ibu, apa yang sedang kita lakukan sekarang ini. Mudah-mudahan kalau kita bekerja sama, ya, kalau kita bekerja sama, pasti ITL akan terus naik dan bisa mencapai visi yang kita sepakati bersama. Jadi sekali lagi buat eh, eh, rekan-rekan terbaik saya dari UNIKL Malaysia, dari NIAT khususnya, terima kasih buat waktunya, buat kesediaannya. Mudah-mudahan kolaborasi kita bisa tambah kuat dan terus berbuah. Ya, mudah-mudahan. Demikian, selamat mengikuti workshop hari ini. Sukses buat kita semua. Terima kasih Pak Waris. Waktu sudah lumayan agak terlambat, jadi tanpa berpanjang lebar lagi, saya silakan kepada para pemateri untuk memberikan materi ini, tapi sesuai dengan yang sudah kami kirimkan. Nanti akan ada 3 sesi, yaitu sesi pertama oleh Prof. Aida, sesi kedua dengan Bu Dr. Nurhayati, sesi ketiga nanti dengan Pak Dr. Nurisan, dan nanti untuk closing akan kembali dengan Bu Profesor Aida. Saya tidak perlu lagi memperkenalkan, nanti langsung aja dengan speaker yang langsung memperkenalkan diri. Silakan menyimak dan bisa memberikan manfaat. Terima kasih. Prof. Aida, silakan. Tim IT tolong dibantu untuk presentasinya. Oh, plugnya itu ya? Oh, nggak bawa konverter ya? Ini ada ini. Ya ada. Tes 1, 2.
Itu tak payah panjang itu.
Lewat Zoom nanti di share.
Jadi lewat sini bisa, lewat sini bisa. Oh, oke.
Ini mikrofon.
Tapi ini ini nanti. Tapi tak.
Nah, tolong minta ini kabel, colokan extension deh. Colokan. Kabel ini nih, terminal.
Can I start? Okay. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all of you. It is my great pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us, myself, Dr. Nurhayati, and also Dr. Nur Hisham, for today's workshops entitled International Publications. Okay, so international publications that we're going to discuss today, we're going to talk about article journal publication, conference paper, as well as book chapter. Okay, so we can actually also publish a books, but books gonna have a separate session because it's very detailed process to come up with the book project proposals and so on. So normally we conduct it in 2 days for book publications. Okay, so that's why today we only focus on these 3: article journals, book chapter, and conference paper. Okay, as mentioned by Prof. Gerata, the visions of ITL is to the aim of ITL is to be listed in the world ranking, right? So of course, in order to be listed, publication is one of it, and also the visibility of the lecturers. And the visibility of the lecturers is actually coming from your publications, okay? And all of these relate with the ranking and reputations of the. So basically, if you look at these all logos here, such Publisher, Routledge, Springer, Atlantis Press, Emerald Publisher, Elsevier, Wiley, and many others, they are all international publishers and the top ranked publishers. All right. But before we go further, let me introduce myself a bit. Oh, dekat tak dengar. Well, why my sound is here? So I should off it or not? Should I off the sound here from laptop? Perlu tutup? Get closer here. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I'm in MIAT. All right. My department is aviation management. I'm teaching air cargo operation management as well as strategic management. And for master degree, my subject is research methodology, aviation supply chain, and also case study seminar. All right. My years as academicians are already 16 years. I continue further my study from bachelor degree to master degree straight away. And then I worked for 2 years. I joined UniKL. And then after that, after 2 years joining UniKL, then they sent me for PhD at Brunel University London, UK. Okay. So this is my area of specializations. Marketing logistics, strategic management, aviation management, air travel, halal logistics, and supply chain management. So my publication mostly in this area. Okay. So far I have published more than 100 articles, including article journals, book chapters, conference papers, and also have published 14 books, 9 with international publisher, Routledge and Springer, and also we have 1 in Emerald coming soon on supply chain. And then 5 books is with local publisher, UiTM Press and also other publishers lah. I'm also an academic fellow at National University of Malaysia under UKM MPOB Endowment Chair at Faculty of Pengurusan, Ekonomi Pengurusan, yeah, for 2 years. And my KPI as a research fellow here is to help them to produce 5 books with international publisher. Okay, so 1 book's already settled with Springer. So my KPI have another 4 books to be published. Okay, so the appointment for 2 years, my KPI for 2 years. With this appointment, I have to produce, help them to produce 5 books with international publishers, Routledge and also Springer. Okay, I'm also academic advisor at Cybernetics College. And this is my, you can also find me, and this is my OCRIT profile and also my Scopus profiles, okay? Also, basically, today, if you look at the title, it is an international publications, and one of it is systematic literature review. Okay, systematic literature review we will cover in the afternoon session. So in the morning sessions, myself and Dr. Nurhayati will cover these 2 topics. I will introduce you with the international publications, why you need to go for international publications, the ranking and reputations, pyramid journals, and so on. Because when we aiming to publish in high international top rank publications, we must know what are the journals available that is ranked in high index, for example, ISI or Web of Science. And now they call it as Web of Science and also Scopus. Okay, these two indexing body is very important if you aim to go for international reputations or international ranking for your universities. Okay, because the ranking, the world ranking will be based on Web of Science indexing, and QS ranking for Asia will be based on Scopus indexing. And so all of these indexing are coming from the lecturers' publications. That's why we must have that knowledge first. I know some of you are lecturers already, maybe already knows this, okay, but some others who are doing still doctorate students, maybe this is new for you, right? Okay, so I'm going to cover the first session, Introduction to International Publication, the University Ranking Journal, books, book chapter, and as well as conference proceeding, and the pyramid journals and indexing. And then we'll be continuing with the second session, how to start crafting a paper. No matter it is a systematic paper or new paper, but normally the flow is almost similar, all right? And then we're going to have a lunch break. And then in the afternoon session, we'll be continuing with Dr. Hisham, which will focus more on systematic review, article journal, how to do systematic review articles. And then we'll go back to me, how to deal with rejection. Okay, because even professor get rejected, because when we publish with article, when we publish article journals with high index ataupun high rank journals, the tendency to get rejected is 95%. Only 5% opportunities to get accepted. Okay, so there are we will receive comments and so on. Then how to deal with this rejection, and then how to respond to the reviewer. Okay, so I will share also the table of response and other things during this day for your reference. Okay. All right, I would like to start with this slide showing you all this book project that we have done. Okay, these are some books that we have already published with international publisher. So far, we publish, so the authors do not have to pay. Okay, so these are the books that is published with international publisher, Routledge under Taylor and Francis Group, and also Springer. Taylor and Francis Group is a UK-based publisher. Springer is a Germany. Okay, so some of you maybe are here that is contributed to a few 3 chapters to Women in Aviation. Yeah, you. Hi. So we met here. Okay, so Prof. Julieta, for this book, Women in Aviation, 3 chapters contributed by your staff. Yeah, your lecturers. Yeah. And so far, all these books, projects that handled by us, it is indexed in Scopus lah. Because when it's indexed in Scopus, the chapter it is indexed in Scopus. When it is indexed, it will be appear in your Scopus profile. So this is very important also. That's why when we want to publish, always aim for high rank or top publishers, so that because if you follow this top publishers, it's never be wrong lah. It will be indexing, and it will be helps you to make yourself visible in among the researcher communities in your field. Okay. So all of these, you look at the titles, corporate branding in logistics and transport. The areas is logistics and transport, but we also do corporate branding in logistics and transport. We do women in aviation. The context is there. So we have to, when you want to publish an article, whether it is a book chapter, article journals, you must be play around with your expertise, and then how it can be related also with current issues. and also other sectors. So it will make more the papers more interesting, and apa dia akan nampak like your work is a franchise topic. Maksudnya topik-topik ke depan, Prof. Pak Iqbal ya. Okay. Digital transformation in aviation. So now everybody are talking about technology advancements and so on. So we also produce a book that is titled on digital transformation as well as technology application. So here I have the same book proposal. I sent to both publisher, one to Routledge, one to Springer. Why is it important for me to focus also in both? Because as academicians, in order for us to help the university get ranking or reputations, we have to make sure ourselves as a lecturer also have reputations. How people see us, the image of us as a researcher reflects the university ranking. You have to rank yourself first. You have to create your reputations, visibility of yourself as a researcher or academicians first, and it really reflects to the university as well. Okay, and it is very important for you also as a lecturer. Some of you are lecturers here. You also have a master students or postgraduate students or even degree students. How you can help them to publish with this top ranked publisher in a form of book chapter. So that's why you have to come up with your book project proposal so that you can help your postgraduate students and also colleagues to publish. And of course, also, when we work with international publisher, we must make sure all the contributors for each book is not only coming from Malaysia or it's not only coming from Indonesia, it must be mixed. So far, I have worked with, so this book, we have worked with Tisi Melewa from UK University and also Pentia from Brunel University, Shurat Shah from Newcastle University, UK. So all editors are UK, I'm only one from Malaysia. And that one, Women Innovation, myself and Dr. Yati. Technology strength in the halal industry, I also work with UK lecturers, Dr. Azizul from Cardiff, Dr. Kamran Mahruf from Bradford University. So same here, why I'm telling you this, because even you focus for article journal publications to make sure it is more valuable in terms of the context, and so make sure we have network or collaborate with other universities, and it will increase the value of the paper. That's number one. And of course, there is also a point, extra point to be calculated when your university being evaluated to be listed in the higher ranking universities, whether it is QS ranking or Times Higher Education ranking. All right. And other books lah. Okay. So all of these books you can Google. It is in the websites of Springer and also in the websites of the publisher, Taylor Francis. Okay. Okay. Since we focus on article journal, we also focus on conference proceeding as well as book chapter. I want to share these two recent publications by myself and my colleagues as well as with my master students. If you can see here, airline catering supply chain performance during pandemic disruption, Bayesian network modeling approach. This is a paper that I work with my master students. Okay, it is published in Emerald. Emerald is a top-ranked journal, and also this journal, Journal of Quality and Reliability Management, it is listed in ABS ranking. So ABS ranking it stands for Association of Business School ranking. So logistics, transport is also part of the ABS. So in order for university to be listed in the need, they will look also where does this article publish. If this corpus, is it ranked in ABS or not? Is it 1-star, 2-star articles, 3-star? So when we want to plan for published articles and also aim for university ranking and reputations, we must select the right journal for right articles. Okay, so all of these articles, I will share later on with you the ABS ranking. So in ABS ranking documents, there are thousands of journals which relates to logistics, which relates to transport, which relates to marketing, logistics, which relates to so you can find from there, and then you can see, oh, this is index in Scopus, or this is index in Women Web of Science, or this is a 1-star articles, or 2-star ABS rank, 3-star. So ABS ranking from 1-star up to 4-star. So if ITL wants to aim for international ranking, focus on times higher education, you must make sure the papers that you submit, it have been indexed in both Scopus as well as Web of Science. If your university focus on QS ranking, ASIA QS ranking, then QS ranking, they refer to Scopus indexing. So there are 2 outlets of ranking for universities, times higher education and also QS ranking. And all of this relate with the indexing of journals that you submitted. Okay, so all of this, you also have to look, when you publish an articles with international publisher, normally they are all top ranked journals. If you publish with Elsevier, Emerald, such journals, Wiley, they are all have ranking, good ranking. Good ranking in ABS, good ranking in also ABDC, Association of Business Council. Okay, so normally it takes some time to be published. Some articles take 6 months, 12 months. There are also articles that you submit after 12 months got rejected. So sometimes very demotivated, right? But of course, you cannot be demotivated, because you have to keep trying. If you send 2-star articles, it got rejected, go to 1-star. So for starting, maybe you can start with 1-star, 1-star. 1-star is also good enough already. Okay, so this published in International Journal of Quality and Reliability Management. It is 2-star ABS ranking. Okay, that one published in Journal of Humanitarian Logistics and Supply Chain Management, it is 1-star ranking. Okay, so all of these journal, when you aim to publish with this journal, you also have to look at how many issues they produce this article every year. There are journals that produce 4 issues sahaja in 1 year, or 2 issues 1 year. Means that what? Means that the review process will take very long. If you aim for journals that have 12 issues in a year, or 9 issues in a year, we can say that the review process may take much more shorter. Okay, so because all of this will affect the publication. So that's why as a researcher, or as a lecturer, or as a postgraduate students, we must plan how many articles you want to publish in 1 year, when is the best time for you to submit, which journal you want to submit, what are the ranking of the journals. All of these should be come in your mind, right? So I take this as a example, but it's blurry, right, for you, because this one take even though it is accepted in April 2022, but it just published this year, May 2023. So it took 1 year to be published after acceptance. So that's why we must keep doing, or must keep submitting the articles. We submit this year for next year publications, or for the 2 years publications, or you submit next year, you prepare another paper for another year publication. So just keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, so make sure in every year you have publication. You have publications for article journals, you have publication for conference, you have publications as a book chapter, and also you can also publish in newspaper as well as magazine, or CILT magazine and whatnot, right? And others, because all of these publication reflect yourself as a lecturer, and it actually creates the image of yourself as a lecturer, reflects also the reputations and ranking of the university. Okay, because they will see how many lecturers are in one university or in one institution, how many of your lecturers are visible in Scopus database, how many lecturers in your institutions are visible in Web of Science database. Okay, so from there they take the informations and then evaluate. Okay. Okay, I also want to share this one. This one is actually I work with with my colleagues, and it published in Journal of Islamic Marketing. It's 1 star under ABS ranking, but it take 2 years to be published. So Journal of Islamic Marketing take very long time also to be published lah. All right. But not necessarily all articles are late. It depends on the title. Okay, so because my title is at that time study on halal warehousing, so they have to find, it's very hard for them to find reviewer in that field. So the title also plays important role for you to, when you have articles to be published. Okay, it must be Frances topic and also relate with that journals. And then this one published with Industrial Marketing Management. This is a very top ranked journal. It's 3-star under ABS. And impact factor more than 7 point something lah. All right. So also other chapters that is published as a book chapter with Emerald, IGI Global. IGI Global also index in Scopus. So AIM publications which only index in Scopus or Web of Science. Google Scholar for ranking and reputations of the university for QS ranking or Times Higher Education is not calculated. So that's why you have to aim for journals that is ranked in Scopus, at least Scopus index. And if you can go further, make sure it can be, it is indexed in both Web of Science and also Scopus. The reason why I show this also, okay, because why is it important to publish in good international publisher, or why is it important to have international publications and publish it with reputable publisher? Because the tendency to get cited is higher compared to if you publish in the yang biasalah kan, yang ni, because you can see from the total downloaded already, itu just published in April. Okay, so after 1 year the downloads is already 1,000. It shows something compared to my articles that is published in non with even though it is indexed index Scopus like Q4, but the publisher is not well recognized. So the number of papers, my papers that been downloaded, so I can see it is lower compared to you publish with the higher rank of publishers. Okay, so that's why we have to focus on the higher rank. Okay, the evolutions of academia. Okay, you cannot run away as a lecturers. You cannot run away from publishing a work. Whether, as I said, as a book chapter or as a conference proceeding, newspaper, magazines, or books. Because this is one of our core tasks as a lecturers in order for us to help the university to get ranking in the ranking, international rankings and reputations. Okay, so if you look here, if you not publish, then you'll be perished lah. So that's why they always say publish or perish, publish or perish. If you publish, then okay. But if you publish is a not in a non-index journal, it can lead also to the perish because no one want to cite our works. Or maybe we accidentally have been published in predatory journals. So we also have to learn about predatory journals or bogus journal, we call bogus journals and so on. So that's why we have to really identify what are the journals that we want to submit for our works related to our field, and who is the publishers and what indexing body have indexed in that journals. Okay, so we as a lecturers, we have to develop the strategy lah. If you also a doctoral, because I was being informed initially it is actually for doctoral workshop, right? So that's why I want to make sure that you understand from the beginning of your PhD works or your doctorate study. Since your first year, you already plan the strategy. Okay, so how many articles you want to publish in for your doctoral work? Okay, since your doctoral work or PhD work is a three years work, 4 years work, of course, your data is very huge. And the quality of it is also there, right? So don't waste your data. You submit to non-index journal or low rank journal. So aim at least 1 star or 2 star. Okay, make sure it is indexed in Web of Science and also Scopus Index. Okay, because don't waste your work of your 3 years of PhD work, 4 years, and submit to somewhere else which is not indexed. So in not indexed means that not be counted for international university ranking. Like I said, QS ranking or Times Higher Education, because they do these two university ranking of Times Higher Education or QS ranking is based on Scopus Index and also Web of Science indexing. Okay. During my time, I just want to share. During my time, my PhD, I have from one PhD, I have published 7 articles. So that's why I said we have to strategize. Okay, so you, we are colleagues, right? You have students, I also have students. So for my students, like my master students, my students have published in 2-star journal, my master students, from her 2 years of work, she published in 2-star journals, ABS ranking, and also one international conference, which is also indexed in Scopus. She presented her work in Sweden's conference, and then also have another 2 publication, international book publications. So that's why I said we as a lecturer also, we can help, we can provide a platform for our postgraduate students to publish by our book project. So we submit a book proposal to the publisher, and we invited contributors from many countries to contribute in our country and reserve 1 or 2 chapters for your students, for your postgraduate students. Okay, because the review process is you as editor, you do the review, right? So you can actually revise them, review, and helps your students to polish that chapter to be included in that book publication. So you have you create the way already to your students to publish article journals, books, or maybe conference papers. So 3 already. So if when she graduated, she already have 4 publications. She also have article journals. She also have book chapter. At the same time, she also has conference proceeding. So that's why I'm sharing with you this, so that we actually can do, but there is, we have to find ways, we have to collaborate with other universities or other countries to make that our book projects more valuable. Okay, as I said, when we want to publish with international publisher, we must make sure in our books, the contributors are coming from wider context, meaning that global. We have, like for me, one book, we have a contributor from Spain, we have contributor from UK, we have contributors from India, we have contributors from Indonesia, Malaysia, Brunei, Thailand, Korea also have, Japan also has. So we make sure that, so when the publisher see our book proposal, it is coming from wider, so the tendency of our book proposal to get accepted is high. Okay. So the importance topic of this, as I said, international journal, or even though it is article, book chapter, conference, all of these publications reflects the reputations of the university and also the staff of the university, the persons, which is the lecturers lah. And it is very important for you also to create your Scopus profile database. How many of you already have Scopus profile database? How many? Malu nak angkat. So kena make sure kalau untuk be evaluated for university ranking, we must make sure our lecturers created their own Scopus profile. So that because they akan auto-generate. So once you create your Scopus profile, whatever you publish, if this index in Scopus database will go straight away to your database. Dia akan automatic pergi ke situ. Sama juga macam Web of Science punya ni lah. So it is very important criteria to have Scopus profile database. So that from there the evaluations will be, dia akan ambil daripada situ, Prof. So dia mesti ada juga. Okay. Okay, of course, for the persons, we as a lecturer to get promoted will be also based on how many articles that we have published, how many article journals, how many books, is it international, is it local, how many conference paper, how many magazines, how many newspaper. This is also represent our branding lah, as a lecturer. We should market ourselves as a lecturer. So how do we market ourselves as a lecturer? From our publications. Because when they see, you don't see me, you don't know me, but you can check my profile, for example, other profile, for example, or we look at the OKID, or we look at the Scopus profile, automatically we know. So it is very important also when you submit a paper, because paper, the first submissions you submit to journal, they will look at your profile, right? Your profile, do you have an editor can check yourself. The reviewer is blind review, tapi the editor can check who is this person submitting the articles to my journal. So I want to see. So kalau you dah ada Scopus database, so dia more convincing for them to at least dia tak dapat desk rejection. At least they consider to submit it to the reviewers, to be evaluated by the reviewers. Okay. Okay, myself as a lecturer, and yourself, of course, it's also a pressure, right? Pressure to us. Bila kata mesti publish 2 article journal every year, and must be in that Scopus. Mana nak cari kan? So it's a pressure. Okay, so that's why we don't stress ourselves. Just make it like a habit lah. Maksudnya like a normal culture for us. Keep doing, keep submitting, keep doing, keep submitting, keep producing the articles. Whether, as I said, it is article, conference, so make it balanced. Not focusing on book chapter only, but you also have a newspaper, you also have magazine, you have also article journals and so on lah. So make it as a habit. Okay. And of course, for you, that's why I said, how do we know quality journals, quality books, well-known publishers? Okay, so well-known publishers, quality journals come from quality publishers. That's why I said always aim for the publisher, journals that is published by top-ranked journals, like for example, Emerald, Routledge, Elsevier, Wiley, Sarge, publisher. All of these journal will never go wrong. It will not be identified as predatory journal. Okay. But of course, it's getting tougher and tougher to get into the top Web of Science journals compared to 10 years ago. Why? Because many people have submitted, and the numbers of lecturers or the numbers of academicians is also increased. But the competition is always there. Everybody wants to publish. Everybody wants to create their own ranking as a lecturers. Create their perhaps the university ranking and reputation. So everybody submitting the same. Even though macam I cakap lah, bila kita ada book project kita nak submit kan, tapi what makes that our book proposal different from other academicians that also submit for a book proposal? We make sure that the contributors of our books, maksudnya the chapters yang ada books tu bukan daripada kita sahaja, dia datang juga daripada pelbagai country. So because all of the international publisher What is the aim? Because they're making money also, right? They publish books, even though it is free for us to publish with them. Tapi they want to make sure the book is sellable. So that, of course, dia tak akan fokus pada satu regions atau Malaysia sahaja. Mungkin ada certain topics yang dia akan buka untuk certain regions or certain topic. Tapi mostly with international publisher, they looking for a wider coverage, widening. So there, in terms of journal also, there are also journals that only focus on Middle East, for example. So kita kena cari lah. Maksudnya kita kena selalu Google dekat bahagian Emerald database ataupun Science Direct database, the name of journals. So every day look at the journal's name, look at the database and so on to find the right journal for your articles. And of course, as I said, we must have a strategy also. Meaning that the first strategy is we have to collaborate with other professor or from other university or other country, as well as we look at the volume and issues of that journal. How many issue been published in it, so that we want to cut the numbers of kita tak nak our paper wasted 1 year after 9 months tak review lagi. And then after 1 year or after 14 months, the review then get rejected. So kita nak cari journals yang dia punya cycles of review tu is faster, for example. Okay, tapi kalau kita punya area macam I cakap tadi yang halal warehousing tadi, it took 2 years, even though Journal of Islamic Marketing is a good journal. Dia publish yang Islamic things, right? Islamic marketing products, halal logistics. Tapi bila yang halal warehousing, yang focus on halal warehousing, untuk air cargo sahaja, more specific to air cargo. So dia perlu cari reviewer yang betul-betul boleh evaluate. So it takes time. So that's why it makes delay. So that's why kita kena, macam I cakap lah, kita kena explore the names of the journal from each publisher yang ada. Okay. And one more tip is actually you can find from special issue call. All of this publisher, it has special issue from Emerald. Okay, Emerald, you just type, you just Google, you have laptop, right? You just type special issue 2023 Emerald Journal. Dia akan keluar list of journal. Berapa pages, 10 pages, berapa pages, ada 20-30 journals yang buat special issues. Okay, so you can submit your journal as a normal submission, or you can submit a journal for a special issue proposal yang tu. So selalunya kalau yang special issue tu dia punya review proses sebab lebih cepat lah, sebab dia dah ada deadline dia macam tu. Kalau kita hantar kepada yang normal submissions, yang tu kita tak boleh katalah cepat ke lambat ke, it depends lah. Tapi ada juga journals, kalau sekarang ni kita tengok dia dah cakap dah berapa dia punya cycle time, how many days after acceptance it will be published online. For example, after acceptance it will be published online in 2 weeks time or in 28 days. So ada juga. So all of these informations are available in journal websites. Okay. Okay, why publish also? As I can mention, as again I said, we cannot run away, and most important thing also, it's connect us with our community. Okay, so you create. How many of you already? I'm sure all of you already have your Google Scholar citation profile, right? Okay, now later you create for your Scopus profile pula later. Okay, so whenever you have a database untuk Scopus, journal yang publish untuk Scopus atau book chapter yang index in Scopus, they automatically to go your ni lah, and to connect you with your research community. So I have many friends from my book projects. Dulu I tak ada, my network is very small. Bila I balik PhD, my network is only my colleagues at university and also my colleagues masa I belajar, even though dia datang dari mana country. Tapi bila kita work together, we publish, so the wider become wider. Okay, so normally the relationship is also important amongst the colleagues lah, whether internals or also external. So you must take care of that relationship, because once we collaborate, we do not want it's finished just one project. We want to make sure we have a further collaboration from there. Why? Because once you connect, you are in the community. Later they will call you for a keynote. Then later they will call you to examine their PhD thesis for master or PhD thesis examiner. Okay, so all of these invitations are coming from the connections that you get from your publications. Same goes when you produce a book project. So I got so many friends when I have a book project. So I'm become happy because my my coverage become wider and wider. I have brothers in this country, I have sisters in this country and the other countries. Okay, so we always communicate, and then when they have a project they will invite us, and then when we have project we invite them. So in our community, in our specialized community, we know each other. Instead of kita cuma tahu in Asia sahaja ke atau Southeast Asia. So you nampak tak, you boleh helps you to connect with the community in your field juga. Okay, and then of course self-satisfaction. I always I lagi dia macam masa my first book project, it takes me 2 years to get it published, and then my proposal for that book project, it took 1 tahun tu tak jadi, reject sampai I rasa macam fed up dah. Okay, so tapi bila once it's accepted, mula-mula I rasa okay, this is the last and this is the first and last of my book lah kononnya. Tapi bila dapat tu macam bersalin tau, macam dapat new baby. You nampak tu, you hilang semua yang all the hurdles apa semua. You rasa you nak tidur dengan buku you tu. Sebab macam wow, you 2 years of your work kan. So you become very you rasa satisfaction lah. Kalau at home, normally kalau macam interior designer kan, macam you masuk rumah, dia letak buku kan, buku buku pasal interior design channel. I letak buku I. Because I rasa macam kenapa nak letak buku tu, ini hard work kan. So dia macam bagi I satisfaction, rasa relief, and then become more motivated to publish and publish. Macam tu. Tapi you kena keep that a momentum lah. Maksudnya you keep doing it. So kalau kita tinggal publication ni, kita rasa macam susah nak tulis balik. So that's why you keep, bila ada masa je you buat sikit, ada masa buat sikit, buat sikit. Dia mula-mula first je yang hurdles untuk book project. Bila second, dia dah jadi normals dah. You dah tahu the process, it become easier. And you actually can adapt already all the challenges and semualah. So normally in 1 year, I submit at least 4 book proposal. I submit to Emirates, submit to Routledge, I submit to Springer, because not all we submit will be accepted. So at least in 1 year, if you submit all 4, 1 at least accepted. So same goes to article journals. So from beginning of year, okay, let's say starting in January, let's say, you aim for this journal. You have a data. Okay, start planning from now. What are the articles, titles of the articles that you want to focus based on the data that you have? How many articles that you want to produce from your research grant, for example, or from your research work with your students, for example, or for review, literature review, you can submit for systematic review, you can submit as a bibliometric articles, all right? So there are many ways. And then your pilot finding, submit another articles. For your full paper findings, submit another article. So from there, 4 already, right? So we have to plan. You plan together with your students and so on. Okay, and then plan, don't submit to the same journal, okay? For starting, maybe can start with 1 star or 2 star. If it is a very good findings, good write-up, okay, you send to proofread and so on, maybe we can try to 3 stars under ABS ranking or under whatever ranking is related to your areas lah. Okay, so even though it is get rejected, it's okay, because that is a normal process. Even senior professor got rejected. As I said, 5% is an acceptance rate. Another 95% is a rejection. But think about the comments that you get from the reviewers. All of them are top professors in the field. If you submit to a high-ranked journals in that field. That 3-star or 2-star, all the comments that you get is very good comments, so that you can use, read, and improve that paper based on the comments. Then you resubmit. If you don't want to resubmit to the same journal, also can you resubmit to the other journal. If you resubmit to the same journal's name, you change the title a bit. So make it a bit different from ni, tapi the content still the same, you just revise the title, make it more interesting, make it more catchy titles that people can easily understand in your field lah. Okay. And of course, fun networking, right? Your career opportunities and so on lah. Okay. Communicate your research. So communicate your research. Publication is about a good research is when it's been communicated to others. So how you communicate your research is via publications, because we don't go one by one person, oh, I have this research, blah, blah, blah. So we transfer the knowledge that we do from our research in terms of the publications. Is it journals or articles and so on lah. That's why communicate your research. So last time, during my PhD study, I love to go to workshop, even though it is a paid workshop. I pay 150 pounds sterling. So normally there, let's say a good conference in the UK, for example, British Academy of Management or Academy of Marketing Conference. Even though marketing logistics, there is a track in dalam marketing conference tu, because one of the track tu adalah logistik lah, marketing logistik, the distribution parts and so on. Channel relationships untuk manufacturers and semua kan, logistik, physical distribution juga kan. So dia kat situ. So normally all this conference ni yang established tu, dia ada one day dia buat khas untuk doctoral workshop sahaja. So I always go to that doctoral workshops to get all the knowledge lah, and also of course the networking. I pay 150 pound or 100 pound to get all these informations, because my supervisor last time, the first appointed supervisor, when I want to publish, they always ask me to focus on the PhD. Tapi my second supervisor is very kind. Not kind juga, dia kind in terms of publications lah. Tapi kalau yang tu dia very garang juga. Tapi kalau publication dia okay. Dia kata you must publish, Aida, you must publish. Dia kata. Tapi yang the first appointed supervisor tu, he's from Greek. He said no, Aida, dia kata focus for your PhD. This is your baby. Make him crawl, make him walk, make him run. Dia kata maksudnya dia nak tengok you punya PhD tu bergerak kan. Tapi yang nombor 2 pula kata dia bergerak selari dengan publication. So I'm also lucky lah, because I have that too, so that I can actually learn about publications at that time lah. Cuma at that time I only focus on article journals and also conference. Okay, so I started book projects tu baru lagi masa 2017. 2017 start submit, the first book published 2019. So 2 years tu is a try and error process ni dan sebagainya lah. Okay. Okay. Publications. When we talk about publications, international publications, what you want to publish? What types of paper you want to publish? Is it a conceptual paper or literature review paper? And so, as I said, literature review paper, you can submit as a systematic review paper, bibliometric. So the one that I show you that is published in Journal of Humanitarian Logistics, that is a literature review paper. I using bibliometric analysis, using bibliometric analysis, okay, using BiblioShiny app. So dia ada banyak kan, ada banyak tools, BiblioShiny, ada Magica, ada banyak. So you plan, you nak publish paper apa? You nak publish conceptual sahaja up to your framework with your hypothesis, ataupun you want to publish a theoretical paper yang publish about the theoretical parts and so on, or you want to publish a literature review works, your works of your review of articles, ataupun your pilot finding or your preliminary interviews finding, or whatever. You can actually you try to suit and find the journals. So it ada both way lah. You find the journal first, and then you draft articles, or you draft articles, then you find the journals. Depends. So you have to plan. That's why I said we have to strategize. Depends on what we plan for our publications. Okay, where to publish. Okay, what journals you want to publish, which indexing body that is index that journal. So as I said, okay, so for those who doing doctoral or PhD works now, because this is your work, your hard work for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years of your PhD. So don't waste your data. So aim for at least 1-star ABS rank journal, or at least Corpus Index Q2 journals or Q1. Okay, so maybe you can send 1 to Q4, 1 to Q3, 1 to Q2. So all the findings, that is data findings, everything, Q1 journal. So you plan, okay? You plan, only you know your research, your title, and then you make your own decisions with the help of your supervisor, maybe, perhaps, right? Then decide where to publish all of this work, okay? So if you are in the first year, now it's good lah, because you know this, then you can actually plan. Oh, I'm doing literature review now. So after 12 months, I want to publish my literature review. One as a systematic review paper, another one is a bibliometric analysis paper, for example. So towards the end, you already do. So can you imagine when you have finish your PhD, how many articles you have? And then also try to submit to book chapters also, or try to submit as a conference paper also. So balance, you have a conference, you have a book chapter, and also you have the article journals publication. Okay, why publish? As I said, it is relate with our reputation as a researcher or as an academician. And of course, the reputations of every lecturers in university reflects the ranking and reputations of the university, of the academic institutions. Okay. Okay, when? That's why I said plan. Okay, strategy. If now you finish already your PhD, doesn't matter as well. See how many papers that you already published. Okay, let's say only 1 or 2. So which part that you haven't published? You can publish also if you have 3 research questions. You can actually also divide 1 article, 1 research question. You make it bigger. Okay, research question, 1 research question, 1 article, 1 research question, 1 article, and then 2 literature review articles, and then pilots, and then full finding. Then you got 7 articles already from your PhD work, right? Examples. Or yeah, you plan, right? Okay, and then okay, who? This is very important also. The lineup of your authorship, the lineup of your authorships for your article journals. If that is your PhD work, make sure you are the first author, okay? Or you are the corresponding author lah. So because that is your PhD work, so it should be you as a first author. Corresponding can be someone, is it your supervisor or maybe a top professor in that field? You invite them. You can actually just email them. You just email, you find one professor, I have my PhD works in this area, and I think this is a similar interest with your research work. Can we collaborate in publish article? So you try to publish. I'm willing to be the first author, and I'm willing you to become the corresponding author. You can actually invite them. Corresponding author is very valuable to them because it's counted in the right. So whether it's your supervisor become the corresponding author, and then your supervisor invite others, and 1 or 2 to add. As long as the first main author too is actually your works, doesn't matter lah. Okay. But of course, issue of plagiarism and so on, once it's been published and so on, you have to deal with it lah, because it cannot. If we detect as plagiarism kan, kalau sama exactly like your thesis, so of course the write up to mesti a bit difference lah, a bit difference, and so on lah. Okay, because one publish is become the copyright of the journals. Even though it's your PhD works or your main, Tapi that doesn't matter, okay? Because that your PhD works, you should be proud of it. And later, if you viva and so on, when people see, when examiners see, oh, you have published in good journal, so there will, insyaAllah, there will be no issues in your viva. Easy, bukan kita kata easy viva lah, maksudnya dia akan kata, oh, so I think I just macam re-evaluate lah, because someone already evaluate and accepted your work within the communities of the researchers in your field ni kan. So it will also helps you to have a better sessions during your viva and leads to the good results for your viva. Okay, so normally mungkin tak ada major lah, minor sahaja for example, or maybe can lead to very minor revisions. Okay. How to craft a paper? This one will be shared by Dr. Yati after this, right? I have few more slides. Bear with me. Okay. All right. Okay. These are the pyramid of journals. Okay. So in the itinerary, kan, I want to introduce the pyramid of the journal. Kita tahu kat mana yang kita nak submit, where to submit, journals mana yang kita nak ni. So you start with Scopus and also Clarivate Analytics. If you submit for articles, kalau conference is okay. Kalau Scopus is better lah. Tapi for starting to get you familiar with the process and so on, you can start with the conference or journals that is peer-reviewed journal, tapi only index in Google Scholar and so on. Just get familiar with your writing skills dulu kan, awal-awal, especially for master maybe. Okay, but if you found your students have a very good writing skills and so on, you can actually polish them at their master levels to actually don't focus on first and second, focus on Scopus already. If they dah PhD and focus on the first Clarivate Analytics, or sekarang dipanggil Web of Science lah. Okay, Web of Science. Okay, so under Web of Science there are 18 indexing. Dia ada zoology, ada biology. Tapi for Times Higher Education Ranking, dia tengok kepada 4 bawah Web of Science. Dia tengok kepada Web of Science indexing. Bawah Web of Science ni ada 4. SCI, Science Citation Index. SCIE, Science Citations Index, Index as Standard. And then SSCI, Social Science Citation Index, and AHI, Arts and Humanity Indexing. So dia tengok kepada 4 indexing dalam Web of Science ni for ranking of the university untuk Times Higher Education Ranking reputation. So kalau nak aim for Times Higher Education Ranking ni, make sure the articles yang kita submit tu, the scope, the journals tu each index in that at least salah satu tu lah. SCIE, SSCI or AHI. Okay. So Scopus pun, if you notice, dia ada ranking kan, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And Q1 ni is the best, the top 25% lah. Okay. And then Q2 top 50%, Q3 top 75%, and Q4. Okay, so dia ada ni. So macam mana, how you check your journals? How you check your journals? Macam mana nak check? Pernah dengar kan Shimago? So kita just write Shimago. Kalau kita untuk check the journals name and then index kat mana, you just type kat Google tu Shimago, SCIMAGO. You buka website tu. Alright, and then you masukkan the name of the journals, and then dia akan keluar. Then boleh tengok ranking dia dari tahun ke berapa sampai ke tahun ke berapa, dia index dalam Q1 ke, Q2 ke, Q3 ke, Q4. And then boleh tengok juga dekat situ siapa publisher dia. Or you can also see since when it is indexed in Scopus, or since when that publisher is ni. And then from there also you can actually just click that journal, dia akan go straight over to that website, right? For Clarivate Analytics indexing, how to check the indexing? You go to Google, you just type Master Journal List Clarivate, buka website tu, and then you go to that journal name, and then dia keluar. Dia boleh nampak indexing ke tidak. Ataupun dia ada yang cakap emerging source citation index. It is not Web of Science lagi, Tapi bila they're being classified as emerging source citation index, meaning that there is a tendency of that journals to become index dalam Web of Science later. So bila dia dah classify FESCI, boleh fokus juga that journal sebab dia ada tendensi untuk pergi kepada SSCI atau SCI indexing lah. Okay, so fokus bila nak cari, nak tengok journal ni index kat mana. Okay, so you can go to Simago or you can go to Clarivate Master Journalist. Kalau you nak tengok, kalau untuk this journal, how many star under Association of Business School ranking, ABS, is it 1 star, 2 star, 3 star or 4 star ranking? You can refer to the ABS ranking file ni. I tak tunjuk kat sini, tapi I will share with Dr. Iqbal and Dr. Iqbal can share with you all. Okay? Boleh nak share tapi I kena keluar dulu from Zoom. I tak tahu macam mana nak buat ni. Bukan keluar tapi I kena sebab this is from PowerPoint kan, yang tu daripada PDF. Okay, this is what I mentioned lah. Scopus, Simago Journal, and then Clarivate Web of Science. You type and then you go type search journal. Kalau dia tak keluar, maksud dia tak index lah dalam Web of Science. Sama ada SCI atau SSCI, AHI ataupun SCIE. Okay, kalau emerging as I said tu, boleh consider juga because dia ada tendency untuk become the Web of Science indexing bila in the futures. Okay. Okay, Clarivate Analytics ni, dia based on US. Okay, kalau European Scopus lah. Scopus ni under Elsevier. And then, as I said, kalau untuk QS ranking of the university, dia akan fokus kepada Scopus indexing. Tapi kalau nak fokus pada Times Higher Education ranking, World Ranking, which is World Ranking, kita kena fokus kepada Clarivate Analytics indexing. Okay. This is information about Scopus Elsevier lah, that one yang you boleh ni. I will share the slides later to Dr. Iqbal to be distributed to everybody. Okay. And then for marketing and logistics, transports and so on, you can focus on these two associations for category of the journals, whether it is 1 star, 2 star, or 3 star, 4 star for associations of business school. For example, macam Journal of Air Transport Management, it is 1 star under ABS ranking. Ataupun for International Journal of Logistics Management, International Journal of Physical Distribution and Logistics Management, 2 star. Ada ataupun Supply Chain Management and International Journal, 3 star under ABS ranking. So you can check from there. Okay, so this file also I will share with Dr. Iqbal to be distributed to all of you. Okay, and then there is also another indexing, not indexing, category journals. That is, they categorize all these journals under Australian Business Deans Council. Dia tak pakai 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, tapi dia pakai kategori A star, A, B, and also C. So from there also you can check lah. As long as all of this listed in the category is a good journal. It's a rank journal, good rank journals that you can focus. Okay. So normally, all of these journals that is listed under ABS Associations of Business School category journal and also ABDC, Australian Business Deans Council category journals, normally some of them are indexing in both Scopus and also Clarivate Analytics or Web of Science. But there are also yang only, ada juga yang some of the journals only index dalam Clarivate Analytics or Web of Science sahaja, or ada juga yang Scopus sahaja, or ada yang dua-dua. Okay, so from there you can check. Okay. Okay, this is an example, okay, of journals, top rank journals, tapi dia bukan di bawah publisher Emerald Elsevier, dia by the university, Harvard Business School. This is a 4-star ABS ranking journal, produced by Harvard University. The publisher is Harvard University. MIS Quarterly, if you are in ITs and so on, if you publish in this is like a God journal. God journal lah, very hard to get published in it. But if you have at least one, people will look at you differently. Wow, dia akan kata, oh, you are very good lah, sampai you boleh can publish in this ni lah, Harvard Business Review, MIS Quarterly, and other example of it. Sekejap ada, alamak, sekejap lagi lah dia ada dekat in another ni rasanya, another slides. Okay, so what is ABS ranking, SSCI, non-SSCI and so on ni, you boleh read from here macam I cakap tadi, ABS ni UK based, and then European Web of Science tu adalah ni lah, okay. Some journal are not signed. Okay, what about Scopus Index journal? Okay, essential things before you start. Of course, you have to have a free mindset. Sometimes we need sketching to get the ideas, what title. Sometimes I put in my first page 3 or 4 titles for that journals. Before I craft the subsections tu, I have 3 or 4. Actually, is represent the same untuk the same content, tapi which one is much more catchy? So whatever idea I have, I just put, then I select later, and then I revise later. Okay, so of course, these are the essential things before you start preparing your article journals. You should have a comfortable writing space. You have to know when is the best time for you to write. So normally, I like a quiet environment lah. If at the office, sometimes I cannot write because very ini. So I go to coffee shop, I stay to ni yang tak ada orang. Yang tak ada orang, ataupun I go to the library. Not necessarily my university library. Sometimes I go to MOT library, Ministry of Transport library. Sebab kat situ tak ada orang. Okay, so, and I dekat sebab I duduk Cyberjaya, Ministry of Transport in Putrajaya. So, it's just very near. I just go find good place for me to write and get the ideas. Okay, sometimes because at the office is much very more sometimes we cannot focus lah kan, because sometimes students coming, sometimes we chit chat with our friends. So when I have no class and then no meetings only, I go find one quiet place for me to focus. Okay. Citation management, Mendeley site, EndNotes, okay, analysis software also. If you are very good in methods, for example, all right, you can also produce a paper that focus on discussion on the method only. Like for example, kalau you tengok paper from Hare, Creswell, dia ada publish banyak pasal quantitative, structural equation modeling and so on, right? If you are good in modeling, write a paper in modeling and so on. Okay, so I'm very proud also actually to share that master students too. She do her research on supply chain performance measurement, tapi dia pakai modeling yang tak ramai orang pakai, Bayesian network modeling. So bila dia pergi present dekat conference kat Sweden tu, once professor dia kata approach dia, tanya dia, dia PhD, dia terkejut, student ni is a master student, and then actually approach this student untuk come to US and work, bukan work lah, macam research together, sebab dia kata dia pun dalam this Bayesian network modeling, and he say to Fatin, tak ramai expert in modeling. So it's very good lah untuk you to be expert in this Bayesian network modeling untuk ni lah. So dia macam, so and then dia masuk group dalam Bayesian network modeling group and so on lah. So dia so that's why I said, bila kita nak ni, kita boleh tengok franchise topic, and we can actually also focus our publication related to specific methods. And one of my books tadi kan, yang air travel, theories, methods, apa semua tu, that books discuss theories, methods dalam air travel study. So pelbagai teori being discussed in there, and then methods used dalam air travel study. So dia fokus on method je. Table of content dia kalau you tengok ada teori dalam air travel and method dalam ni. Adalah ada macam-macam methods, okay? Okay, understanding about authorship macam tadi kan, I cakap macam who is the line of authorships kan. Inilah whether you writing alone or writing with somebody. So normally macam ni, I still don't write alone because I'm still learning. Kita sharing kan, so kita rasa macam kita have to collaborate with others lah, and not only for ourselves, but of course bila for ranking purpose, for evaluation, untuk ranking university evaluations, bila ada collaborations among the other institutions, dia ada extra marks. Kalau dalam senarai authorships tu ada different institution plus different country, lagi banyak point kat situ. And so it helps the increase of the ranking and reputation of the university. And of course for your ranking as a researcher as well, right? And then from a writing group, okay, so sometimes we do like this. Let's say kita buat 4 orang. Okay, 4 orang dari universiti lain-lain ataupun 2 daripada UniKL, 1 daripada universiti lain, 1 daripada universiti lain. Dalam setiap 4 ni, setiap orang akan tulis satu paper. So setiap satu paper ni akan ada nama 4-4 ni. So dia akan bertukar lah. Yang ni first author, yang first akan. So dia macam, so submit to a good journal. So towards the end, you ada 4. Sama. Tapi ada juga yang dapat, tak dapat. Tapi kalau tak dapat tu, kita hantarlah kat tempat lain. So dia tak ada istilah macam rugi ke, kalau tak dapat ke, I buat dapat, you buat tak dapat. Tak ada. Kita macam, apa, kita buatlah, kita submit lagi sampai dia be accepted. So dia ada macam-macam lah cara. So all of these are also ways lah untuk ni. Same goes to if you focus on book project. Kalau you nak buat book pun, you have form a group. Macam I ada my own group. Kalau untuk Women Innovations, I buat dengan Dr. Yati sebelum ni kan. So kalau dengan logistik and transports, supply chain, I buat dengan partner my colleagues daripada UK, daripada UK lah, UK and sini. Ada juga daripada universiti lain lah dalam Malaysia, ada juga. Okay, so ni. Tapi bila dia, macam I cakap lah, bila kita aim for international publisher, for books, make sure one of the editors tu, dia akan helpful. Okay, kalau you have an articles, I have a new book project on handbook of logistic and transport. Dia ada 2 volume, focus on rail and rail and land. Lagi satu maritime and aviation. So dia buat that separate. So we already sign a contract. So ada banyak papers yang tu. Ada, bukanlah boleh kita boleh open for opportunities for Indonesia, maybe 3 or 4. But we also have from Turkey, from India, from China, Hong Kong, ramai. Sebab dia memang dalam proposal kita tu, kita letak dalam from multi countries lah. As I said, bila kita letak banyak, and dia international publisher, dia memang aim for wide coverage, sebab dia nak make sure the books tu sellable kan. So dia increase the tendency of getting accepted, the proposal tu. Okay. And of course, promotions and also visibility of the researcher. Okay, establish good writing attitudes. Always seek for publication opportunity. Set your timeline. Write every day. Speak your times and so on lah. Okay, so PhD and conference paper is a must. Kita start lambat tadi. I dah ambil masa Dr. Yati dah. Sekejap. Tak apalah, kita delay sikit kan. Okay, boleh ke Prof? Okay. Okay, PhD and conference must allow you to network researcher, expert in the field. Okay, build a relationship, make connection with the right people, sources of new ideas, provide opportunities and so on lah. Okay, be careful also. Okay, if you are doctoral students, you can attend to national conference at your but try also to attend a conference, a very well established conference in your field. For example, macam I said, you can go for Academy of Marketing conference, or you can go for LRN conference, Logistic Research Network conference. They always organize in the UK in September. Mungkin Pak Iqbal, Prof juga boleh pergi kan, sebab dia kat situ, dia all the top professor, and then dia yang collaborate with that conference tu normally a top rank journal lah, top rank publishers for specific journals in that fields. Okay, so here you can find also other conference from these websites, right? So from multi countries. These are the examples I said at Academy of Marketing conference. Maybe you can explore later. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then and normally for this established conference, you can meet all the people you cited in your work. All the top professors, the author of the textbooks, they will gather during this conference. Okay, so and then the reviewer during that time is all these top professor that you cited. Okay, so and also normally they are also sitting for editorial board for certain journals. So all of these are all high apa kita kata memang high profile punya researcher lah. Alright, and it always linked to that journals that they sit for editorial team, for editors. Some of them are editors with that journal. Okay, so and then this one also good, British Academy of Management. Okay, and this is what I said, Logistic Research Network Conference. They memang collaborate with CRLT UK. Okay, these are some other reference lah for conference, meet the editors. So look at this. Okay, so they also invite the editor-in-chief Journal of Marketing. It's a Journal of Marketing is a top ranked journal. Okay, so this may be a strategy for your university as well. Later, maybe can invite, become the and then editor-in-chief British Journal Manager. That's why I said all this established very high rank, kita kata high rank conference lah. All the top professors, leading professor will meet, gather there, and then you can meet them, and they are all very approachable. You can meet with them and then communicate with them. All right. So and these are some of the informations on the journals that you can get informations about the journals. Okay, so every journals, if you identify that journals, go to that website, and then you can find from that about submits and guide for authors. Okay. Same here about Journal for Business, and then you can also look at the abstracting and indexing of each journal. From this lah, dekat each website of the journal, dia dah cakap dah, dia index kat mana. Kalau whether you want to check by your own in Shimago or also Clarivate Analytics, or you go straight away to the journal website that you identify, you can also check the abstracting and also indexing where this journal is indexed in what ranking outlet, okay, indexing outlet. Okay. This is an example that maybe relate with you lah, areas of logistic, International Journal of Physical Distribution and Logistic Management, and then okay, these are some of call for papers coming from the journal. Okay, so as I said, macam I cakap tadi lah, you can go to the website, you Google, you just type Emerald Special Issues 2023 blah blah blah. Okay, and I think these are the same. And then okay, for paper submissions, name standardization, cover letter, and of course make sure you have created this later, ORCID ID, Scopus profile and Google Scholar for your visibility, and it will lead to the ranking and reputations of your university for evaluations. Okay, these are the other journals name that is top ranked journal, 4-star, which is not published by SV ke Emerald ke, tapi by associations or by universities. Okay, because kat situ dah ada dah Academy of Management, yang ni published by University of Chicago in US, but these are all top ranked journals. Okay, it's all 4 stars and 3 stars, listed in ABS and also category A journal in ABDC. So beware about predatory journals, fake journals. Okay, this bin list helps you to get to know about predatory journals and the publishers. So once you know the names of the journals, we want to avoid predatory journals, because for ranking and reputations, it will not be counted. Okay, so make sure you submit. Before you submit to that journal, you check first. Is it listed here or not? If listed, then avoid lah. Kalau not listed, insyaAllah should be okay lah. Okay. Ini International Journal of Latest Research in Engineering. Okay, so kita actually pun boleh tengok lah kalau dia kata acceptance, review within 40 hours, publication within 70 hours. So it's actually predatory lah. And they publish, memang publish, tapi maybe it's not indexing Scopus. Lagi satu dia memang for making money lah, dia buat profit from that journal publication. Okay, and then Journal of Rufinia ni, this is a fake journal. You look at the name, dia memang ada Journal of Rufinia, tapi dia punya itu difference. Apa orang kata, address tu lain-lain so dia mengelirukan, so kita tak tahulah yang mana satu yang betul kan. Alright, so I think the first sessions finish. Do you have any questions before we proceed with second session? Sorry Dr. Yati, I take your time a bit. Terakhir aja ya. Okay. Okay, so without any further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Nurhayati for her research topic on how to start writing a paper. So Dr. Pak Iqbal, Dr. Yati use her own laptop. Macam mana?
Dengar, bantu lagi depan. Banyak.
Assalamualaikum. Okay, can we proceed? Or you want to have a break? Coffee break? Okay, I introduce myself first. I'm Dr. Nurhayati Muhammad Noor. Presently, I am the Head of Research and Innovation in UniKL, Malaysian Institute of Aviation Technology. So this role, my responsibility is to make sure my campus meet the publication KPI. In Trisakti, who is actually the person in charge for the publication and also grant? Pak Basri, in Trisakti, who is actually in charge on the publication and also grant? Oh, not here. Okay. Prof. Okay, so before that, I introduce myself, my background, my education background. Previously, before I joined UniKL, I worked with industry for 12 years. Okay, and in 2009, I joined as a lecturer. Before that, I don't have my PhD. I only have master degree in manufacturing and process. So my background is actually engineering. But the scope of my research is actually wider than that. Okay, so I graduated from University Malaya. My PhD is in manufacturing and processes, specialized in ergonomics design. So, do you know what is ergonomics? Yeah, related to human factors, okay, human-machine interaction. So now my research area, I extended the field also in logistics and supply chain. So means that human factors and ergonomics in logistics and supply chain. So in wider scope, not only focusing on the manufacturing process and also other engineering field. Okay, so far in UniKL MIAT, we have target for each year, how many paper to publish, similar with Trisakti, right? So how many paper targeted for this year? 400. So 200 lecturers with PhD 80, right? Okay, so in UniKL MIAT, we have about 120 lecturers. With PhD, it's only about 30 lectures. But for the whole UniKL, they have more than that. So for whole UniKL, our target is 1,000 papers. So for UniKL this year, about 100 papers. So to achieve that target, it is very, we need to have very, what I can say, many efforts to do initiative in order to make sure all our lecturers to publish papers. Okay, so one of the initiatives that we have is to organize a conference like what you all did every year, Groslock, right? Okay, but it is very hard to encourage our friends to start writing. Is it similar situation here? Okay, so actually for today, because initially this program is for postgraduate, so my approach is more on like workshop to explain, to guide the approach that we do in our institute. Okay, so if you, can we have two-way interaction after this? Okay, okay, so how about grant here? Grant from government. In Trisakti, do you have any research grant provide to your lecturers? Okay, so same with our university. So means that is it possible for us to have a collaboration research grant? So means that let's say we provide to 20,000 to Trisakti, Trisakti provide 20,000 to us. So means that the total grant is 40,000 for us to perform the research and also to publish. I think we can do that kind of approach too, right? Okay, so I go to the structure of the paper. So I think all of you already published, right? Semua sudah publish. Sudah ya. In Scopus publication ataupun ISI, WOS? Sudah. Okay. What I want to explain here is actually the basic format, how to write a research paper. So before that, this is the definition of research paper. But I'm not sure in Trisakti, what kind of research paper is actually you all focusing for? Focus on what kind of research paper? Is it empirical study, literature review, or analysis or method? All depends on the project or the research that you have, right? Okay, but as you can see here, I think you all know about this because you are all the lecturers. So this slide is actually prepared for a postgraduate student. So I just proceed with the definition. It is actually academic writing that provide analysis, interpretation, and argument based on in-depth independent research. Independent research means that rigorous investigation on the area to be studied. Okay. So a good research paper address a specific research questions. I think all of you already know what is research questions, right? Any postgraduate student here? Ada tak? Boleh tak angkat tangan? Postgraduate? Bukan. Postgraduate student. So oh bukan. Oh, graduated already. So any postgraduate? Okay. Okay, what is the difference between research questions and research objective? Research questions and research objective. What is the difference? Ada difference tak?
Issue formulation, you mean issue formulation, question, why?
You mean you want to relate with the problem, right? A part of it. So means that when you want to identify or when you want to collect data to solve the problem, to do research, then you will come up with the research questions. But what is the difference between research question and research objective? Ada beza nggak? Huh? Okay, from the gap, we can identify the objective, right? But how to identify the questions? Sorry? Or the problem on the negative side of the subjects. Oh, actually, research questions is related to research objective. But how is it related? For example, the first research objective is to identify the risk of human factors in logistic operation. For example, that is the objective, number one. But what is the questions? This question is there any human factors issue in logistic operation, for example? So it is actually similar thing, but the objective is a statement, but question is the question form. Sama. Sama. Okay. Well, how about hypothesis? Hypothesis? Hypothesis. Saya pun tak pandai tahu, kita sama-sama sharing. What is the hypothesis? So can we relate with the objective or with the questions?
That is a prediction.
Yeah, prediction.
Prediction whether this if this finding is the result is
as what we expected.
Yeah, what is
Right. So
Okay.
from the question, from the objective, so what I can say, the hypothesis is there is an issue related to human factor in the logistic operation. But this one is just general example. But if you want to do the hypothesis, then we need to go in details. What kind of human factors? Because that one is only in general. Okay. Ada question tak? Okay, so as you can see here, the research questions or objective of the study is the central organizing principle of the paper. So the main item for you to draft a paper is from the objective of questions. But let's say we have more than one research objective. So how would you like to draft your paper? You want to put in all in one paper, or you want to separate into 3 different papers? Gimana? Yeah, separate is better because instead of you have one paper, but you can get 3. Okay. How many research questions? Only one main research question. The answer already here, right? Main research question should be addressed in the paper, and the research question should be precise and not merely identify a general idea of inquiry. So as what I give you just now, example is the general questions. Okay. Studies does not necessarily have to break completely new ground, but it should extend previous knowledge in a useful way. Means that it is not necessary for us to provide a new knowledge, but we can extend the existing knowledge. Okay, but for PhD, do we need to produce a new knowledge for PhD? Yeah, new knowledge and also the novelty. Okay, I mix between crafting research paper and also with what we have we normally discuss in our daily life as a academician. Is it okay? Okay. And then should be interest to others who work in the same scientific area. So means that if I study in human factors and ergonomics, so I must do research which is similar interest with other academician in similar area. Okay. My slide only 22. Okay. Oh, sorry. Susah ni. Okay. So this is the structure of research paper. Of course, we need to have the title. Okay. Abstract, keywords, introduction, materials and methods, results, discussion, conclusion, and references. So this is the common structure to craft or to draft a research paper. So if you look at the journal article in any journals, you can see, you can find this kind of structure. But for different type of research paper, we have different structure. If you look at one that Dr. Aida shared just now, nampak tak? Dia tak ada macam title, abstract, keywords, introduction, but number 5 is different. Rasa tak? Okay, number 5 is different because depends on the type of paper we publish. Okay, but the basic one is in red. Okay, introduction, methods, results, and discussion. But sometimes they use as analysis. It depends. Okay. Okay. Title. Okay. How you draft or how you identify your title of your paper. Let's say you have final year project from the student. Usually the title for the paper will be different from the title that from the project that our student did, right? Sama ke tak? Selalunya. Kadang-kadang sama, kadang-kadang berbeza. Right. Because as I mentioned, there are 3 objectives, for example. So if you want to produce one paper from the first objective, so of course the title will be different. Betul tak? Okay, so the title, this is the part that is the authors will, the researchers will read most. Okay, so in order to find journal article for our reference, the first keyword, the keywords that we going to search is from the title. Betul tak? Okay. So compose a title that is simple, okay, not so complicated, attractive, and accurately reflects the investigation. So the process to identify the title also quite important. So a good title is defined as the fewest possible words that adequately describe the contents of the paper. Okay, no need to have a long title, pendek-pendek, but precise, compress is better. Okay. Please to avoid investigations of, study of, observations on, but we did all these things right. Saya pun buat. Because before that we just do without knowledge. Okay, as long as our paper we get published. Okay. Avoid acronyms that are known only to specialized committee. So better to don't use the words that is not recognized by others. Okay, and effective title should identify the main issue of the paper, be accurate, clear, specific, and complete, but not contain abbreviations unless they are well known to the reader. So some abbreviations too, we need to make sure that everyone or most of the readers know the meaning of the abbreviation. For example, in my study, do you know MSD? Anyone study on the human factor and ergonomics? Ada tak? Tak ada. So MSD is stand for musculoskeletal disorder. So in my research area, MSD is common. But when I want to embed this kind of research into logistics and supply chain, if I just use the abbreviation, so means that no one know about that. Okay, so I need to use the full name or other terms in the title. Huh? Yeah, don't put abbreviations. Okay. Okay. So improper title might never reach the readers, so it won't be cited. Okay. So if you look at this example, which one is good or bad title? For number one, prevalence and factors associated with low back pain in warehouse workers, a cross-sectional study. So this one is good or bad title? Example of good or bad title. Faham tak kalau tengok titlenya? Maksudnya dari segi the scope of the study and problem to be solved. Of course, maybe some of you do not understand because of the different area, right? But if you look at the title, is it something which we can understand? Good or bad? Good or bad? Bad? Good or bad title? The first one. Oh, saya tak bawa pula sweet kan nak bagi hadiah. Next time. Pakai ringgit lah. Good or bad title, the first one. So what is the problem here? Back pain, right? The subject? Warehouse workers. So it is a good title. Second one, human-centric production and logistics system design and management, transitioning from Industry 4.0 to Industry 5.0. Too general. Too technical. So the issue here is about human, right? Human, okay, in logistic design and management. And another one is the technology, 4.0 to 5.0. Oh, still good title. Yeah, because we can see clearly what is the issue, what is the problem, and also the subject. Okay. The third one, a new framework for adaptations and actions. Yeah. What kind of adaptations? What kind of actions? So we don't know. Too general. Okay, we cannot relate with our study. So no one will cite the paper. Okay. Number 4, sorry, because most of the title is related to my research. Okay, human factors in production and logistic system of the future. So this one, good or bad? Okay, one of the good title. Okay, can you all draft one from your research, your title? Boleh tak draft? Cuba. Kita tengok title good ke bad. Boleh, Bapak. Nanti kita bincang good or bad.
Dwelling time, insight on organizational culture, coordination and communication.
Dwelling time on.
Insight on
Dwelling time, insight.
dwelling time challenge. Dwelling time challenge, insight on organizational culture, coordination and communication.
So the issue is the dwelling time. Okay. Subject. Okay. So is it because we can identify the relationship between two factors, right? We can see the title too, communication and also coordination and organizational culture. So good or bad title? For me, it is a good lah. Okay, because it is clear what Bapak mau investigate. Okay, anyone want to share? Mau nggak? Oh, tadi kita bagi belakang. Ibu mau share nggak?
Oh, well, it's
Researchnya dalam bidang
I'm from aviation.
Huh?
Aviation.
aviation.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah. According to myself, I think that it is better that if it is more specific.
Yeah.
Where like the human factors in production, in logistic, in what area?
In remote area.
So in what area? Oh, in what area?
Oh, one of the
Yeah.
one of the good title. Yeah. Okay. Terima kasih. Okay, any other anyone want to share? Okay, kita move to another slide. Slide saya 22 tapi 2 jam. Bisa. Oh, tak gerak lah. Human factors or technology? Cannot change the slide. Human factor or technology?
Let's find out.
Human factor. So means that I do not know how to use it. Pakai menu aja lah. Okay. Then we move to abstract. After you already identify the title, then we move to the abstract. Tak boleh, Pak Iqbal? Tak bisa. Oh, boleh. Okay. Patah balik aja. Mundur. Mundur gini ya? Okay. So, usually for abstract, when did you write your abstract? You write it after you complete your paper or before you start writing your paper? How is your approach? After. Mostly we do it after, right? Before.
The paper, but after I complete the paper, I revise.
Yeah, you revise and you review. So depends on how actually we're going to draft our abstract. But for me, similar with you, I will draft first and then I will review and refine back after I complete the paper. Okay, so in the abstract, you need to elaborate what was done, what was found, okay, what are the major conclusions, and usually, but most of the time, okay, abstract only in one paragraph to summarize the paper, okay, to summarize the contents of the paper. It is the most essential part of article, okay, and then as you can see here, okay, come first, but the last part to be written, okay. Abstract should be eye-catching and interesting, okay, and then from the point of view of the editors, reviewers, and sometimes us too, okay, we will check the abstract first before we read the whole paper. Betul tak? Kan? We screen the abstract, then only we decide either that paper is related to our study or not. Okay, and then so make sure you write a good abstract before you publish. Okay, abstract is very important because we can search it in the database, either Scopus or WOS. So we just talk about two main lah, Scopus and WOS. Okay. And it is also act as advertisement for our work. Okay. Ada soalan tak? Any questions related to abstract? Tak nampak ada apa? Ada ini. Sudah tak boleh guna. Okay, so this is the relevant parts of the abstract introduction. Okay, you introduce or in one statement about the background of your study. Okay, and then what is the purpose of the paper, aim or purpose, what kind of methods used, results not too details like what we have in the paper, and then conclusion and implications. Basic, this one, okay? So these are all the common mistakes in writing an abstract. So don't do this, okay? The first one, using an inappropriate writing style. So usually, different journal will have different style of abstract. So if you look at different type of journals, you can find different type of writing style. Okay, so make sure you use the correct writing style, follow the journal requirement. Okay, you address non-relevant information in the abstract, so avoid it. Okay, the things that you did not mention in the text in the paper, but you write it in the abstract. So it is not encouraged and it is totally don't do it. Okay. You include unnecessary words or phrases similar to like the second one. Okay, using the first line of the introduction as the first sentence of the abstract. Your introduction, the first line in your introduction, then you put it in your abstract. Benar buat tak? Benar kan? So don't do that. Okay. Compiling the abstract by selecting some sentences from the main text. Ini pun kita biasa buat kan? Biasa buat tak? Number 5. You compile the abstract, okay, you based on the few sentences from your paper, okay, from your introduction or background usually. Okay, and then do you put references in the abstract? Pernah tak jumpa any papers that put citation in the abstract? Pernah? Tak pernah kan? So don't do that. Okay. And then writing long sentences. So recommended maximum 25 words for each sentence. And then incomplete sentence, improper tense, using exaggerated, overblown, grandiose words, so avoid that. Okay, non-required synonyms and repetitive words. Okay, tables, but I never find that kind of abstract lah. Tak pernah lah jumpa table dalam abstract. Okay, so because we all know what is the format for the abstract, but for the first timer, is it possible to do that? Okay, especially our student. Okay, and then using figures, non-essential jargons words, and then plagiarism, grammatical mistakes, and also mixing results and inference. So means that discussion and conclusions. Okay, so make sure our abstract we proofread. Okay, before we submit our paper to the journals. Nanti saya share slide ni, you boleh tengok. Okay, so this is the basic example. There are 6 elements. Okay, 6 elements. How you can write your abstract. So introduction in 1 sentence, for example, research questions or problem in 1 sentence, and then you summarize why nobody has adequately answered this question, or it is related to the why we want to do this study. And also you add in the 3rd sentence related to gap in the literature. Okay, and then the method, the approach, the method, and also what is the significant impact of the study in the abstract. Okay, so saya tak baca lah yang ni, nanti saya share. Okay. So another approach. So this one, I got it from Prof. Dekam. Okay, example on how to do abstract in more details. Okay, just now in 6 steps. So this one you can see ada 10. Okay, so this is one of the example. So the first step is the opening statement related to the research subject to attract readers. The second one, introduce the research problem or the point you want to investigated. Okay, state the aim or the purpose of the study. Method, okay, mention about the method, including the analysis. Okay, what kind of analysis, and then the software used, the major assumptions and conditions. This one related to hypothesis lah. Okay, but in short sentences. Okay, and then the major results, comparison of the result, summary of interpretation and conclusion, and the last one is a nice closing statement. So means that this one is based on the significance of the study and also the recommendation. Okay. Any questions? Number 5, this one describe rigorously the software tools, okay, and methods that you use in your study. This one, but if we just, if the format is for the abstract is just for 300 words, for example, 250, I think it is better for you to follow the earlier one. Okay, no need to details. But if you can do it in this way, but can compress into 300 words or 250 words, depends on the general requirements, then it should be okay. Okay. Okay, so this is example of abstract. Okay, this one from this paper, occupational cold exposure is associated with upper extremity pain. So as you can see here, there is only 1, 2, 3, 4 point here. Okay, I think most of us use this kind of abstract, right? This kind of format. Okay, but if you have more information to add in, you can follow the one that the one that I share with you with the colorful one. Okay, it is not necessary to have the 10 steps, but it's up to you to follow until which steps. Okay. But the background here, you can see that In the background, they also mention about the purpose. Okay, the purpose of the study, the purpose of aim of the study. I tak boleh guna lah ni. Okay. Any questions? So how about yours? You follow this style or you have not this type? Oh, so what type of abstract? Can you share with me? Can you share from your PC? Atau boleh kita pancarkan? Ibu, gimana? Macam ni ke? Different. Yeah, but not with specific title like this. But because this one is requirement from the journal. Okay, this journal want us to specify what is the statement for background, for method, results, and also conclusion. Yeah, so we just follow the format given by the journal. But so far, the journal that you submit do not require this kind of format, right? So just in one paragraph. But how about the flow? Do you follow this kind of flow or different flow? Similar flow, but not with the title, right? Okay. Oh, so this one is another example. Okay, two different journal, but with similar format. Okay, easier for us to draft the abstract. Okay. All is related to my study, but this is not my paper. Okay. Okay, then we move to keywords. Okay, how to identify the keywords? Okay, we already decide the title, draft the abstract, and how to identify the keywords. From the title, yes, from the title. Okay. From the methods. Okay, title, topic, from, and also methods. So usually we do it that way. Okay. So for this, for the first paper just now, cold exposure. So this is the these are the keywords. Okay, the first keyword is cold exposure, and then lifting ergonomics. Even though there is no ergonomics word in the title, but because of the research area is related to ergonomics, then they put the word ergonomics in the keywords. Okay, why? Because they want to expand the search process to make sure that many people, many researchers can access the paper, because ergonomics is a very wide area. Okay, even though the title is very specific, but in the research area of ergonomics, then they want more ergonomists to read the paper, then they put the keyword ergonomics in the paper. Okay, that is one of the way or one of the method to make sure that our paper is accessible. Okay, and to create more citation. Bila ramai orang buka, ramai orang baca, ramai orang akan cite. Okay. The second one, low back just now. Low back, work-related musculoskeletal disorders. Okay, depends on the journal. Some require minimum 5. Okay, some can be up to 7. Okay, so depends on the journals. Okay, now we move to introduction. Penat juga Introduction. So, one of the critical elements or critical part in the paper, right? Okay, so usually for introduction, we start with the background of the topic, background of the study. Okay, and then we go further because we want to mention about the problem to be investigated. Why we want to do research on that title, on that area. Okay, and then we also should put the research problem or gap in the introduction, and then why we want to, what is the gap, why we want to do research, and what kind of method to be used in order to identify the problem, okay, to solve the problem, okay. So usually, there are, do you know what the triangle to construct or to draft the introduction? Triangle yang terbalik itu. Kan? So we go with the what we know about the issues, okay, in general, or the whole story about the issues, okay. And second one, we focus on, ingat tak? The second one, why or what is the gap? Okay, what is the gap from the problem? Okay, or what kind of gap to fill in? Okay, based on the general or the overall overview of the issues. Okay, usually in the second part we focusing more on the previous study. Okay, to identify the research problem and also the gap of the study. Okay, and the last one only we focus for what we want to do. Okay, and then what kind of approach in order to collect data or investigate the issue. Okay, and then we also state the aim of our study and also the possible or the expected outcome from the study. Okay. So I think all of you did same approach, right? Okay. Any questions? Now we move to methods. Method is quite straightforward. Okay. So usually what kind of method Ibu guna untuk your study? Depend. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So usually what kind of tool? Survey, experiment, interview. Okay. So yeah. Remember we have qualitative, quantitative, and also mixed method. So in Trisakti, which approach? Qualitative, quantitative, mixed one. Okay.
Depends on our
research questions. Okay. Yeah, method should be aligned with the research objective or research questions. Okay. Let's say the first objective is to identify the risk of low back pain among logistic workers, for example. So what kind of method which is more appropriate to use to collect the data? Qualitative or quantitative? Survey. Okay, the first approach we can do survey, right? So quantitative. But survey can be also qualitative, right? Saja je, saya saja. Okay, survey also can be qualitative. Okay, depends on the type of questions. I think you all know that. Okay, because this is actually for postgraduate, right? So, okay. Okay, how was the problem investigated? What type of research methods involved? Okay, what kind of instruments, tools, means that either you will conduct experimental study or survey or interview or both. Okay, for my research area, I will do both. Okay, qualitative, usually quantitative, but survey and also experiment. Qualitative sometimes, okay, which is depends on the questions from the survey and also interview. Okay, yeah, experiment. Okay, economics and human factors. How I conduct an experiment. Okay, for example, logistic workers, they will logistic and warehouse lah. Okay, or logistic operation, there is a warehouse for the part distribution, right? Okay, from the shipment and then storage in the preserve in the warehouse area, and then some of the part, okay, from the overseas supplier, okay, need to be repacked. repacking. Okay, so from the big packing method to the polybox, for example, right? Okay, they use workers to rearrange the part. Okay, so in human factor study, repetitive work is one of the problem. Repetition in manual repetitive tasks. Okay, so there is a possibility with incorrect posture will create low back pain issue. So that is how I conduct the experiment. So my subject is the human, not on the material like that. Okay, so usually I will combine both survey to identify the issue and then experiment to validate the issue like that. No, I collect data. Collect. So I will use some equipments to measure the fatigue. So sekarang kalau bapak duduk gini kan, dengan laptop, so I can assess your fatigue based on your posture. Like that. Okay. So I will combine both experimental study and also survey. Okay. So yours depends on what kind of tools or method you gonna use in your study. Okay, so all the methods, theories, tool, and process should be written in the methodology section. Okay, but sometimes I will also provide methodological framework. Do you know what is methodological framework? It is like research design, but it is more simple than that. So the flow of the method, for example, how I conduct my research. For example, two methods I use. Okay, so I will provide the flow. Okay, a survey, and then what kind of tools for the survey. Either I adapt, I develop, or I adopt from previous studies. For example, the questionnaires. Okay, and then as for the experimental study, what kind of tasks for logistic, for example. So on the repetitive issue during repacking the parts. So I will draft the flow to make the readers clear about what I include in the research method. Okay. Okay, structure, organization, and content depends heavily on the type of paper. Okay, so let's say you do systematic, you do literature review paper or review paper, then the one Dr. Isham will guide you how to produce literature review paper. Okay, I also did that before. But my focus is more on the conceptual framework paper. Okay, so means that I will review all the theoretical framework related to the, for example, low back pain. Okay, and then I will come up with my conceptual framework. Okay, and must be able to repeat or reproduce result. Means that other researchers can follow our method. Okay, maybe we can use in different industry, or they can add on the other factors and follow our process or our methods. Okay. Okay, result and discussion. This one susah ke tak? Result and discussion. Senang. Susah. Okay, usually we can have this section, either we combine results and discussion, or we can separate results and then only we do discussion section. Which approach you prefer most? Combine or separate? Sometimes combine, sometimes separate. But kalau paper, I prefer combine. Kalau thesis, I prefer separate. Because why? I have no idea to discuss after I already put my result. Okay, so I like to do it in one sections. Okay, but it also depends on the journal. Ada journals separate, ada yang combine. Okay, but so far, I think most of the journals that I submitted combine. We can combine. Okay, so these two sections can be combined or separate. State the result achieved either from a simulation, implementation, numerical evaluation, etc. Okay, so we need to describe the results in detail. This one I think you all know. Okay, tables, charts, graph, codes, and include a detailed discussions. Okay, so figures should follow the discussion themes and not the sequence they were conducted. So we need to, let's say, we put figure 2.1, and then we need to immediately discuss the figure, okay? Discuss a comparison between our results and also the initial hypothesis, okay? Based on the result, is it our hypothesis is correct or not? Okay, achieved or not? Okay, and then how is your result compared to the previous studies? Okay, did you come up with something which is new from the previous study or similar? Okay, usually you want it to be a new one or similar? Yeah, of course, new one, because you want to extend the existing knowledge. Okay, and then suggesting what a new knowledge provides to the field, as I mentioned lah. Okay, so for example, from my investigation, I can see that low back pain among warehouse workers is very high, for example. Okay, so what kind of action should be taken by the industry in order to reduce the risk of MSD among the workers? Okay, so not only in the manufacturing, but even though the packing process is not very critical, but the issue is still critical in the area. Okay. Conclusion. This one quite simple, right? Conclusion susah ke senang? Senang. But sometimes when we submit paper, the reviewers comment on our conclusion. Pernah enggak? Ke Bapak udah pernah submit paper? Okay, so selalu saya pernah kena dulu last time. Okay, ni saya tambah sikit lah sebab conclusion ni senang je kan. Bukanlah senang. Okay, when I did my PhD in Universiti Malaya, to graduate, I need to produce 2 ISI papers. ISI, not Scopus. WOS. So, every time submit, rejected. Cry. Submit, rejected. Cry again. Okay, so but until one time, you dah macam tak kisah. So tak apalah, kena reject, hantar lagi kan, hantar lagi dan hantar lagi. Then I unable to get published in Q1, Q2, Q3. Cuma dapat Q4 saja. Q1, Q1, Q2 will take about 2 years. I did submitted to Q1, Q2. But if I rely on that paper, I won't graduate it. Okay, so my initiative, we find out journal with lower quartile. Okay, like Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Okay, so WS and Scopus, both will have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, but the one that is Q1 in Scopus might be Q2 in ISI. Okay, so I submit Q1 in Scopus, Q2 in ISI, and 2 years. It takes 2 years to publish. So if I rely with that paper, so I won't graduate it. So I need to find alternative, submit to lower rank journal. So dapatlah grad. Susah. How about Trisakti? Do you give any requirements to your PhD student to publish in Scopus or WAS in order for them to graduate? Ada tak? Compulsory. If not, cannot viva. Enggak ada. So jangan. Jangan. It's better not. But you encourage them to publish, but not compulsory. But if you want to do it compulsory, then okay, can. Okay. So we go back to the conclusion. The conclusion is a crucial section that plays a significant role in the overall impact and effectiveness of the paper. Because why? Usually, instead of abstract, kita akan baca conclusion. Betul tak? So what kind of information we can get from the conclusion? Kalau conclusion tak best, abstract tak best, kita tak akan tengok. Right? Okay. So make sure you write good conclusion. Okay. The conclusion serves to provide a concise summary of the key findings. Okay, but not in details on the findings that we have. Let's say in the result section, you mentioned that 10% of the workers free from back pain, for example. But in the conclusion, you need to mention about the percentage. Okay, maybe you can say that less workers exposed with the back pain. Okay, include major findings, followed by brief discussion on future perspective and or application of design work to other disciplines. So what kind of this approach, what is the significant to the other industries, for example, in general? Okay. For example, I focus on logistics and supply chain, but how about aviation, for example? Okay. The research paper conclusion is not the place to introduce new information. So don't put new information in the conclusion, and especially the data that was not discussed in the paper. Okay, and then do not rewrite the abstract. But most of us, we do like that. Okay, if you do it, but you need to revise. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So this is one of the example for the conclusion. Okay. Usually there is no guideline given by the journal. Okay. But this is one of the examples. So you can put the research statement, key points of the arguments. Okay. And then you address the research questions, the significance of the study, implications, and what can we suggest for the future research, and also the closing thoughts. Okay, this one means that you conclude your findings, and then you can also mention the contribution of the paper. So this is example, abstract, and also the conclusion. Okay. If you can see here, the common method for the abstract, cuba tengok, ada similarity tak? This is from the same paper. So is the conclusion extracted from the abstract? But in general, okay, they put a number, but not in details like what they put in the abstract. As I mentioned, the percentage not required, but we can say that how long, okay, how serious in the conclusion. And then acknowledgements. Okay, if we have a funder, and then we need to acknowledge. In Malaysia, for example, some of our researchers will get a grant or fund from the government. Then it is compulsory to acknowledge in the paper. Okay, for example, MOSTI, Ministry of Science and Technology. Okay. And then the last one is the references. Okay, make sure any reference you use in the paper, you must list at the end of the paper. Okay, included for paper, actually the one that only we use for thesis, we can put the one that we referred but not listed in the the citation. Okay. What to do if a paper gets rejected? Macam I cakap just now lah, saya akan down. Okay. And then masa tu student lah, on that time I am a student. So of course lah, we do not know how to face the rejection. Okay. But our supervisor will say, don't worry. We can submit to other journals, we can improve. Okay. But sometimes the comments from the reviewers is very, very heartbroken. Okay, so do not get discouraged. So because I already go through that process, then now I say that don't get discouraged. Okay, and then we can read the comments from the reviewers or the editors and improve the quality of the paper. If they require us to add more data, then do it. Okay, if you still want to publish in that journal, if you already decided that we can send to other journals, then do it. Okay, but if you can see here, the advice: do not just turn around and submit the paper to another journal. Okay, collect more data if necessary, and then rejected papers can be resubmitted if and only the concerns of the reviewers can be addressed and results are included. So some of the reviewers want to get away, so you decide either you want to proceed or not. Okay, and if you have any questions or inquiries related to the comments, then we can contact the editorial office. Okay, pernah di reject papernya? Pernah ya? Okay. So this is my reference lah for this slide. So nanti I share semua paper ni. Laju ni Pak Iqbal. Laju ya? Oh, okay. Oh, sekarang 12 suku. Okay lah. So I just want to share, okay, because in UniKL, I think most of the institution like there are university, if you want to get promoted, one of the elements, we need to have a publication. Okay, but actually, as a researcher, the promotion is the second part. It is our interest. Okay, for me lah, I do not know about others, but like Dr. Aida and me, our passion is to publish. Okay, initially, I just interested to publish in the journal. Okay, in journals, either Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and we also before this facing predatory journals. So means that we also have experience. We do not know that it is a fake journal. Okay, but when we publish after 2 years, then our paper cannot be found in the Scopus database. Then only we realize that, oh, that is the predatory journal. So some of the papers hilang, lost from the Scopus database, and then means that our H index also will reduce. Okay, so ada H index. Ada. Saja tanya sebab dah cukupkan time. Okay, but now Dr. Aida introduced me with the book chapters. Okay, sebelum ni saya tak suka pun, saya tak nak pun publish nama book chapters. Kan? But when I know that book chapters also indexed by Scopus, then the interest will come in. Okay, so what I can say is just do it, just publish and send to whatever journals that you interested to publish. Okay, any other questions before I end this session? Thank you very much for your attention. Yang baik itu hanya daripada Allah, yang buruk daripada saya. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum.
Bapak Ibu, kita habis sebenarnya sebelum break. Jadi silakan kalau bertanya. Udah langsung satu. Ada lagi? Tiga, pas. Oh, empat. Ya udah terakhir empat ya. Iya, sebelum ini nanti setelah kita setelah ini kan makan siang yang disediakan di luar. Nanti jam 2 ya, jam 2 masuk lagi. Nanti itu topiknya langsung ke systematic literature review. Nanti yang mau kita implement ya. Jadi kalau belum ntar nggak dapat sertifikat juga gitu ya. Oh, silakan mikrofon ini nggak boleh. Sebutkan nama partai lintas ke sana Maldo kan? Tadi ke sana ke arah sana mic-nya. Oh iya, saya salah kacamata saya nggak kelihatan. Oh iya, oke. Nanti berdiri aja silakan Bu.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, my name is Deslida. I just want to asking, but how do we know is a journal is predator? And second, are there any tricks for making good question in qualitative methods such as Atlas or NVivo? Okay, thank you. That's all.
Mungkin bisa langsung menjawabnya. Bu Provider.
Ya.
Mikrofonnya nyala.
Sorry. Okay.
Ditempel.
Okay. Oh, ditempel kuat. Cepat. Dekat. Okay. The first question is on predatory journals. How to check, right? As I mentioned just now, we can check through bill list. In the slide I have shared with me, so you just type bill list and then it will come out with the list. So you can check the publisher of that journals or the names of that journal. So if it is listed there, means that please avoid. It may actually is a predatory journals. Okay. As I mentioned, as Dr. Yati mentioned, we also have, after we finish our PhD, we also do not know about all this predatory fake journal because supervisor never tell, you know. So it's like a try and error. So from there we keep learning, and then I don't want you all to make same mistake like us. So in your profile, make sure it is all good journals in your profile, because your profile, when people see, is represent you. Like myself and also others who already publish in predatory journals, we actually cannot delete because it's already there. So just let it be. But if can delete, I want to delete because I don't want it to be in my profile because it's not good when people see it, you know. So that is the first question. Your second question?
For making good question for
Sorry. Are there any tricks for making good question in qualitative methods?
In qualitative,
such, Atlas or NVivo? They're more questionnaire, okay? Making questionnaire.
Okay, Atlas TI and NVivo is actually a tools, right?
Yeah,
for
I know.
quantitative data analysis.
Yeah.
But normally in questions for paper, we don't put it as a question, research question for the articles.
Yeah.
So normally you can, because normally qualitative you start with how and that, right?
Yeah.
Or in research objective, maybe you can say instead of to explore or what. So you can say to what extent of this is being developed in blah blah blah, something like that. To what. When I want to publish or craft an article, let's say I want to submit to Journal of Humanitarian, I will actually print 3 recent articles from that journal. And because different journal have different language, not different language of ni, dia ada dia punya seni dia kan lain kan, cara dia lenggok bahasa yang diguna, structures and so on. So I will print, if I'm doing qualitative study, I will find 3 qualitative paper from that journal, and I see thoroughly how they write. Paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, and then from there I start crafting mine, and then see in terms of dia punya research problems, problem statements, gap, macam mana dia olah. Sama, and then see how I can actually follow. And then look at the research question, paper 1, paper 2, paper 3. Do they put as a research question or they put straight away from problems to research objective? Because in qualitative research, as we know, there are school of thought. Some say if you follow the examiners, the school of thought that have from problems and then research question, research objective, and so on.
Yeah.
And from your reference also you follow that one, because there is also another school of thought of qualitative researcher. They will say, hey, you are doing qualitative, then from problem, how can you have your research question? This is wrong. You should go straight away from problem statements, go to research objective. No research question. No. So how can you justify? So that's why you must have to justify whatever decision that you make, right? So in order for you to write it, normally there is no right or wrong, tapi normally I always refer to article journals. Untuk craft, untuk lihat macam mana dia write dia punya research question. Research question paper number 2 write macam mana, paper 3 write macam mana, and I try to translate mine into that. So same macam I buat bibliometrik. I tak tahu macam mana nak buat research questions tu kan. So I print out bibliometric articles 1, 2, 3, 4, and then see what is the first question they ask. Oh, look at this. Oh, what is the first question? Oh, almost similar. So I write the same. Second, oh, what is it? So all of it is based on the reference from the article journals. Okay.
Okay, thank
Hope
you.
that's answer your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Terima kasih Pak Aida. Bu Vivi, silakan. Nanti pertanyaan selanjutnya kita stop dulu ya, karena biar kita bisa break on time. Jadi nggak terlalu capek nanti. Silakan Bu Vivi.
Oke.
Makan soalnya.
Oh ya. Ya nggak apa-apa Pak, saya juga udah lapar kok. Oke. Yeah, thank you for the chance. I have 2 questions. The first one is for Dr. Nurhayati. So it is related to your explanation about title and how you make the research questions. The first one, title. I agree with you that to make title for dissertation and also for papers are different, right? But some months ago, I have been told by my promoter that when you make the title, you don't have to input or put the method or what is it? For example, my research is related to curriculum, so it is not related to logistics and transportation, not really. So when I use, for example, smart, the method like smart or web or the name of the method, and then I put in my title, and then he said that I don't need to put that method that I use in that title. So that's the first question. And the second one, related to the methods, based on your explanation, I do understand how to make the research question and also the research objectives, right? But then for us, because our research is related to education. So, for example, if the method of the research is DDR, design and development, so the research question should follow the steps of the DDR, the 6 steps. So that's what I understood. So is it correct, or maybe there are some other, different explanation, right, related to how you make the research questions for your paper? Okay, so for that, Dr. Nurhayati, can I continue first or to Dr. Noraida or not?
I answer first, I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Baik, maaf ya, nanti satu lagi ya, sebelum makan, tenang aja, saya udah lapar.
Okay, so for the title, so your promoter mentions that you need to put the method used in the title, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so may I know promoter or reviewer?
No. It is for my dissertation, but when I want to make the research paper before I submit to the journals,
Okay,
you said like
so
that.
actually we need to see depends on how actually what is actually going to investigate. Okay, depends on the contents of the paper. Either we can put methods or not. Okay, so I need to see in details actually on your issues before I can advise either we can put the word method or not. Okay, because we cannot justify it in general, because some of the papers also mention about the method. The title also, there is a paper which is focusing on the method. Okay, and then the second one is the how you develop the research objective, research questions, and also the method, right? Okay, usually, as I mentioned, there should be what we call it, the research objective and the method should be tally. For example, the first objective should tally with the first method. Okay, for your first objective, may I know what is your first objective?
The objectives is to design the curriculum for logistics.
Okay, to design the curriculum for logistic costs. That one. So what kind of method you use?
The method is the first step, the analyzing of the needs of the logistics management graduate. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the questions following the design and development steps for the research.
So your first objective is design and development, but you will have different stage of method.
Yes.
So the first method is to identify the readiness, for example. Yes, it is correct. So you satu objektif tak semestinya satu method. One objective will have different step of methods. Okay, boleh.
Okay, thank you. And the second one is for, maaf ya Pak Iqbal. Finally with that, one of the author in Women in Aviation.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, my name is Novi. And
Novi.
yes,
Novi.
we have texted, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
okay. Okay, so the question is related to the journals. I have understood your explanation about writing papers to some journals, but then the question is not really related to your explanation, but your experience. Some of my friends, because I haven't tried it yet, I haven't tried it. So some of my friends have tried to submit their papers to the journals, but then some of them, although we already checked in Simago and something else, they find discontinued papers. Now, my question is how to avoid those discontinued papers, because we as the doctoral degree, we need that our papers published right by the journals, but then the journals are discontinued and then we cannot continue our like that. And then have you ever experienced that kind of thing, that you submit and then you have the discontinued paper? It means that your work doesn't, tidak dianggap gitu ya?
Not counted.
Yeah, not counted. Yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. I have the same experience. I think published with test engineering and management, something like that. Is this discontinued Scopus, I think 2020 or 2021, something like that. But the one is already indexed, is still indexed, is still in your Scopus database. But after that, if discontinued, then don't submit lah. Don't submit to that same journal. But if already submitted, let's say you submitted, and then it is published and discontinued, let's say you published 2022 and then discontinued Scopus 2022. So it's unlucky. So that's why we have to check the predatory journal. So that's why I said now I'm also after a few times I've been experienced with this predatory. Now I stop already. I stop publish with publisher that is I'm not sure. Macam kita very rare kita dengar. So go with the right publisher, well-known publisher like Emerald, Elsevier, Routledge, under Taylor and Francis. You will never go wrong. And because it's a publisher, even though it's not yet indexed, for example, there are some journals that already there, let's say published by Emerald, but it's not yet indexed, but later on, of course, it will be indexed in Scopus later on, because all of these indexings on it is based on the citations, right? So first, avoid that predatory journals. Before submit, check first in bill list. If it is listed, then avoid. And then always follow, always refer to, always publish with a well-known publisher. Okay, so that is the tips lah, to avoid. Hope that answer your question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and thanks also to your contributions to
Oh,
this
okay.
book. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I would like to invite you for our next book project, you and others maybe, on women in logistics and transport, that we have two series. Series 1 is on maritime and also aviation, and second series on rail and land transport. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Ya, saya kembalikan ke Pak Iqbal.
Baik, terima kasih. Waktu kita silakan, tapi jangan lupa jam shop kita kembali ke sini dan laptopnya sudah disediakan karena Dr. Bisa akan menyampaikan mengenai systematic literature review. Dan kita sudah disediakan makan siang dan lanjutkan dengan semua. Terima kasih. Ini karena pembicaranya dua-dua wanita, saya nunggu yang pria nih nanti sesi lain. Ya kan? Ya, selamat makan Bapak Ibu. Nanti slide saya share di grup WhatsApp ya slide-nya.